Last year, I attended my very first DTM race at the Norris Ring as a guest of BMW South Africa to support local race ace Sheldon van der Linde, who was then in his rookie season. We caught up with him to reflect on 2020 and importantly look forward to the year ahead. Sheldon, we've got to chat and hang out in some pretty cool locations, but my office today I think is kick-ass. Sitting on the banks of a dam on a farm outside Hogsback. And where are you? Stuck in Germany?
Yeah, first of all, I got to say your view over there looks really nice. I personally can't wait to get back to South Africa again. It's been a year since I've been there and since we last chatted. I remember the last time I was chatting was actually in Norris Ring for the show we did. So it's been a while, Marius, but it's good to catch up again. Obviously, I'm in Germany now, as you can see, sitting in my simulator, which is, we've even got the studio lights there if you look up top. So it's all very professional, the setup. But yeah, it's very cool to finally end the season now. It's been a long one, been very intense, definitely my most intense season by far this year, which is always nice to be busy. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to race as a professional racer, to be what I am. So yeah, just living the dream at the moment.
But I was just so stoked to see, your maiden victory in DTM as well, and in such tricky flipping conditions. Yeah, that's a stoke, because I mean, in your rookie year, yeah, you'd gone qualified on pole, but to get onto the top step of the podium must have been a dream come true, because I know you're super goal driven, so that would have definitely been a box that you would have wanted to have ticked.
100%. I think that was probably the biggest, obviously, achievement of my career and to this date. It was very important for me to get that monkey off my back. I think that's what also put so much pressure on me last year, is that I always wanted that podium and that win so badly. I just took a step back this year, said, listen, I know what to do now. I have the experience. I gained experience from last year. I have the speed with me, so I need to just put everything together now, make sure I don't make mistakes, and then just let it come to me instead of trying to chase that goal and making mistakes, So I think it worked out very well. This whole mindset that I had changed from 2019 to 2020 did me very well. And it just shows in the results as well that I was a lot more comfortable in my skin. I knew what I was capable of, and in the end, we extracted some mega results. I had, I think, 2 podiums, one being second place, one being my maiden win in Assen, which is obviously very special to me. I mean, just thinking back at that now, I already just get goosebumps of those radio calls over the line, and I didn't have a voice left after that day because I was screaming so much. So it's just incredible to see where my career has gone, and especially in this last year. It's one thing to sign a DTM contract, but it's that next to make that next step in your career. I really feel that I've done that, so I'm very, very proud of my season, to be honest.
But what happens now for Sheldon? Because I sit there and I think, geez, like now with DTM, who knows what's happening there next year? Where does that leave you? Because this is your dream. Now it's time to refocus and find something else to do. And obviously BMW will be happy with what you've achieved. So where do you go to from here? Is there stuff lined up?
There's definitely something in the pipeline. I can definitely confirm that, and it will most probably be with BMW, which I'm very happy about, because I like to be loyal to a brand. I think it's also very important from a driver's side to show that loyalty, to really stick with a brand and really reward them for all the trust that they've put in us, So I'm personally looking forward to what's happening next year. I definitely am aiming at something Formula E related, let's say. So that's always been my goal, is to kind of move into electric now, because I definitely think that is the future of motorsport, and we need to kind of adapt with the times. We need to be able to move and explore new things and not just be stuck in our way and think that the future combustion engines, unfortunately, as good as it is, as good as the sound is of the DTM car, as much horsepower as it is, it just, you have to move with the times. And yeah, I mean, it's a great challenge now that I'm willing to take on, and hopefully I can secure myself a full-time seat within the next 1 or 2 years. That will be my next goal now, I would say.
How is that going to change mindset-wise? Because, I mean, I know we joked during the off-season. I mean, the only people that benefited with COVID were all the sim races, and you were doing a lot of great work on the simulators. I know BMW's got a pretty impressive setup as well. How's that going to help you adjust if you do go the Formula E route from, tin top racing, which is where you've spent your entire life? I mean, what are you, 21 now? Long life. And now move to single seaters.
21, yeah.
Yeah, and open wheel racing, that's going to be pretty different.
It's going to be very different. It's going to take a lot of adaptation, like I said already. The good thing is that we have a nice simulator in BMW where we can kind of, we have a Formula E sim and we have a DTM sim. They basically just change the platform from one to the next, which is quite nice for us to kind of get get in the groove of things, especially with me not having driven a Formula car before. It just helps with the kind of vision and the kind of view that you'll have in a Formula car with a halo in front of you and stuff like that, which I've never driven before. So it definitely, I have to say, nowadays it makes the driver's life a lot easier to adapt to these new cars and going to a test feeling a lot more prepared. And in saying that, I actually have driven the Formula E car in a real test already, which has been very exciting. I have to say, it's something completely different. You hear the wind noise when you're driving and your helmet is moving around, and it's a completely different experience that I really enjoy. For the last 2 years, I always somehow had my mind on Formula cars. I always had the dream of kind of doing the F4, F3, F2 kind of thing, but it never really was within reach for us because, as you know, coming from South Africa, it's hard to have the backing exactly from the parents and so on. So it's nice now to kind of fulfill that, let's say, dream or goal that I always had of stepping into a Formula car, and also being a professional racing driver now in a Formula series is obviously the goal always. So it's very cool.
Now let's talk South Africa. I mean, I know when last year was such a big thing for South Africa to have international racing and the caliber of drivers like yourself representing, and obviously awesome for you to be racing internationally, but at home again with the Kyalami 9 hour. Obviously that was also kind of up in the air with COVID, but the green light, and that's coming up in a week's time. So that's super exciting. You are obviously going to be there. Are you pairing up with the same driver lineup as last year?
The driver lineup is going to look very similar. So we've got Augusto Farfus on board again, obviously very experienced driver from Brazil, which I had on board with me last year as well. And then last year I had Martin Tomczyk, which will be replaced by Nicky Katzberg this year. Also very popular, one of the best, let's say, within BMW internally. So personally, I think it's probably the strongest lineup that we've had, at least I've had in a GT3 car in the last couple of years. So very much looking forward to that. Hopefully the rain doesn't come bucketing down again. Last year it was quite a hefty one with all the rain coming down, and obviously for the M6 it's not so easy with traction and so on, and the car's naturally very big, so we kind of struggle to put all that power down. But hopefully it's going to be dry this time around. But with South Africa and this time of the year, you never really know what it's going to do. Normally it rains quite a lot anyway because it's so hot. So I mean, fingers crossed that it stays dry, but if it stays wet, we'll take on the challenge for sure.
Before we go, it must be crap to get on a podium and then no flipping spectators. I mean, I just thought of you with DTM, and now you're talking about, to be on the podium, and again, no spectators at Kyalami 9 hour. That must be like the champagne must taste a bit crap.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, champagne never really tastes shit, to be honest. Excuse my language, but I'll be happily taking it along, if the opportunity does arise. But like you said, it's never really the same not having the fans there. I remember last year, there's so many people coming up to me and asking for autographs, asking for little chats, and I'm always open to that, because I know where my roots are and I know where I come from, and I know that these people have been supporting me since the first step in my career, and therefore I'm always very thankful to my South African supporters. I have a lot of them as well back home, so it's going to be very disappointing. I think my parents probably won't even be able to be at the track as well, which is kind of a weird thing, they'll probably be sitting at home watching on TV, even though they're only 15 minutes away from the racetrack.
Sheldon, just thank you again, and like what you said about giving back to your fans, and it was cool to interact with them last year, and you know exactly where your roots are, and tracking your journey has been a real exciting thing for me, just to watch the maturity and the professionalism with which you've tackled everything you've done. I love talking to you because you're just so good with your time, bud. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Marius. Always an honor chatting to you again, and hopefully, like I said, we see each other in Kyalami for a little catch up again. And all the best on your lovely view there in the background, and we catch up soon.
Good. Yeah, hopefully I'll be sipping champagne with you on the podium this year. I'll be there, so that'll be awesome. Just make sure you're there on the podium. Okay. Cool. Thanks, Sheldon.